Kutcher was caught lying at his ex-girlfriend's murder trial.
Did you know Ashton Kutcher had no idea he was about to walk into a crime scene on February 21st, 2001?
He was 23 years old.
He showed up to his friend Ashley Ellerin's Hollywood home, hoping to patch things up after a fight.
He claimed to have knocked on her door, but he got no answer, so he peered through the window to see if anyone was home. And apparently, all he saw was an empty house with wine stains all over the floor. Not thinking much of it, he left. Or so he says.
Kutcher acts like Ellerin was just a first date when they were dating for a month with her. The night she was killed, Ashton Kutcher went to pick her up for a date, finding the lights were on in the house, but she wasn't answering the door or her phone.
Kutcher had no idea she was already dead when he knocked on the door.
Now he's being accused of being responsible for a murder. In the 2000s, Ashton Kutcher briefly dated Ashley Ellerin, who was found murdered at the age of 22.
And Kutcher was the last person to see her alive before her body was discovered the next day.
Kutcher claimed he didn't know she was killed and instead looked through the window to see red stuff on her carpet, but thought it was just a wine stain.
Impossible for Ashton Kutcher to see red wine stains on the carpet from the window. Not only would it have been too dark in the house, but you had to go in to see where the blood was. Ashton Kutcher walked into the house that night, saw Ashley Ellerin dead on the floor, blood everywhere, walked out, sat in his car for an hour, freaked out, calling his team on what to do.
So Ashton knew these red wine stains were actually blood the whole time.
It wasn't a claim for years, but now new evidence has surfaced. Ashton Kutcher knew she was killed and spent an hour in his car calling people asking what to do.
His team told him not to call the police so that his name wouldn't be tied to the murder. And he had a lot of people influencing him that calling the police would be a bad idea.
And one of which being his That 70s Show co-star Danny Masterson, who told him to walk away from the situation and not call the police.
Ashton's team told him to go to the party that he was supposed to take Ashley to.
Jane Doe 3 in the Danny Masterson trial, publicly known as Chrissy Carnell-Bixler, went public with the information that she was sitting next to Danny Masterson in their car, and Ashton was on speakerphone, when he called Danny Masterson after having already spent an hour on the phone with Ashton, after Ashton had already spent an hour on the phone with his own manager, trying to decide whether he should call the police about having just found the dead body of the girl he was about to go out on a date with her.
Coincidentally, Ashton Kutcher defended Danny Masterson during his rape trial, where now many people think Danny Masterson was blackmailing him with this information.
They were afraid this could tarnish his name.
Police later investigated and saw that it would have been actually impossible to see any stains through that dark window. And later, DNA and fingerprint-based evidence found him placed inside the house and on the body.
Ashton Kutcher not only lied, but police knew he lied.
That woman's killer was eventually found.
The person who killed her was serial killer Michael Gargillo, who stabbed her 47 times and was known as the Hollywood Ripper. Even worse, Gargillo was a suspect for killing Ellerin. Because Ashton Kutcher didn't go to the police immediately, they didn't have a strong enough case to prosecute.
Trying to prove these false claims that Ashton made actually delayed the case, and within this delayed period, Gargillo killed again.
Because Gargillo wasn't prosecuted, he ended up killing another woman, which many people blame Ashton Kutcher for.
And had he not lied, it could have stopped Michael from killing again because he would have been caught and arrested.
The Hollywood Ripper wasn't caught until years later. DNA tied him to multiple murders, including Ashley's. A year after the crime, Kutcher had to testify in court against him.
Ashton's statements to the police and Ashton's statements on the stand were lies.
So why did Ashton lie?